In our basement stairwell, I have some more vintage bird items to show you. These are old gravel art pictures that I found in the Twin Cities here. The first one, I spent some time putting some beads back on it that were missing. They're the little tiny ones. If you can see here, maybe, let me find some right there. Those little long ones, they're supposed to be nice shiny gold, and they were missing, but I replaced them. You can get those beads pretty easily from craft stores, and they've tarnished already, so that didn't help a whole lot, but I worked on this one pretty hard to clean it up, and I painted some of the gold. Let's see, these here flat, I think they're plastic pieces, little discs. They were quite tarnished, and so I put like just a new coat of some nice metallic gold paint on them. I probably replaced some beads up there at the top, but they're common. You can find them on the internet. And this one over here I didn't work on yet. It is still missing some beads. They're tarnished. That would be a lot of work. I just haven't gotten up the ambition to do it yet. But they are fun. These old plaques, well, they're dated 1960. They're very heavy. I found them in Duluth, Minnesota, quite a few years ago. They're lilies. The gold leaves were quite tarnished. I was considering sprucing them up with some metallic paint, gold metallic paint, but I haven't done it. I left them the way they were. But they are marked on the side, Michigan Composition in Detroit, Michigan. So that's that side. This is just a little plastic globe that we found in a thrift store. It was really cheap and just easy to attach up there. Maybe that's not quite so fancy seeing the top of the fixture, but I still wanted to display it. It's spaghetti and it's in our colors, so I was happy to find that really cheap. Here's the other side where I have two Miller Studio white owls. They're quite large. They were dated 1968, and I did just recently redo the gold, but I decided to be different and actually paint it with Tester's metallic paint. They were very tarnished and dull. I just didn't care for it, so the white was still in beautiful condition, nice and pearly white. But I'm very happy with how these turned out. I'm always touching up something. I just like it better. Up here is probably one of the first plaques from Miller Studio that we ever bought. It is just some yellow birds. This one is dated 1957. I've never seen it before in any of our antiquing trips. I believe it might be rare then, but I've always really loved it. Moved it around a lot, but it's going to be staying here in the hallway now because I did finally come up with a little arrangement here that I'm very happy with. This bottom one is Copper Craft Guild, and that is a 1968 item. It does come with a mate and it's a one owl that's much larger. It's quite neat having a copper background on it. That's why there's all this glare of me and my phone. But that is a really fun one. It's just a plastic frame on it, but I like that. I don't care that I don't have the mate for it, because this makes a very nice arrangement. So that is what's in my basement stairwell. This retro shelf is a really fun one that I found probably 15 years ago in a town, Hinckley, Minnesota, that's halfway between the Twin Cities and Duluth. I thought it would be really super neat to have in the stairwell up here so I can see it from my kitchen and dining area. For spring, I put some vintage glassware on it. I think a lot of it is depression glass. This is a Jeanette Buttons and Bows amber glass basket. This, and one on the other side of it, is Fenton, little Fenton hobnail vase. This is a vintage Fenton amberina glass button and daisy, and they describe it as having a split handle. There is also two of them on each side of this lowest shelf, the same pattern by Fenton in an olive green. Over here. This little green basket is, on the internet, they just say depression glass, so I really don't know who made it, but I've never had a black light to try on it, but my hubby's standing right next to me here, and he's going to turn the black light on. As soon as I saw that, I went, whoa, that's really wild. There's another one over here that was actually lime green, and I thought this probably was. Again, I had never tried it. It's such a limey green, but they just light up. That is exciting. So they are definitely uranium glass, or I don't know, sometimes they call it Vaseline glass, especially the ones that are just so limey green. I don't know who made that basket, amberina, but it's a very colorful one. And there's a green one just like that, and there's another amberina Fenton hobnail vase on the top shelf here. This is at the top of our stairs to the bedrooms and bathrooms. We have another starburst clock. It's an Elgin. And this old bookcase was a nice gift from a great aunt. We have part of our radios here, radio collection that we really enjoy. My brother gave me the turquoise one on the bottom that looks like a old car dashboard with the speedometer there. That was really a cool one. And the pink one I believe I bought myself, and the green one, but my brother also gave us these two cool red ones, an Olympic. This one is a Philco Transitone with the black dials. They are very nice. And he also gave us this very cool teal green one. That is also a Philco Transitone. Silver tone next to it. That might be a solid state one, I'm not sure, but that one I believe I bought myself too, not from my brother, but he's given us many. At the top is a very cool piece of pottery, drip pottery, drip glaze I should explain, and on both sides of it is a couple of Mod Gazelle pottery pieces that I found last Christmas on sale from a antique store that was closing up, sadly. Inside this wild piece of pottery is some artificial succulents that I thought would be fun to have in it. Across from the bookcase here is another one of the nice round retro tables that works really well up here for setting stuff on when you need it. It is the laminate top ones. We got it probably really cheap, probably at a garage sale many years back. And on top of it is a couple of my very pretty swans, a couple of my favorite ones. I just put some greenery in there and different things for different times of year, but that tall black one is really fancy. I imagine that's a California original. I didn't have a mate to it at all. I just found this by itself. On the wall above the swans is a octagon shaped, very retro metal shelf that we found many years ago. I can't remember where, but it took me quite a few years to find some different birds that worked well together. The two on the sides are little vases, and then I found this one day just all by its lonesome. And same with this cute bird up here. Sometimes it just takes a while to find enough things that work really well together. Up above the octagon shelf is a very unusual bird that my brother gave me many years ago. It is a very dull finish, and from what I've seen on the internet of some old bluebird plaques that I did actually sell, they were quite old, but they call that bisque then. Very flat finish. A little hard to dust it. But I really like its neat shape, very modern shape. At the end of the upper hall, we have a arrangement of vintage owl items. There is a metal plaque at the top and a pair of fancy ceramic owls. I think they could be left in, and 4 vintage Crewel pictures. The pictures, I took them apart and resprayed the frames. They were just a brown wood tone, dark brown, I didn't care for, so I just picked 2 different colors. They are seasonal looking, one with fall leaves and one with green leaves, and the other 2 look just a little more wintry with pine needles. This is a close-up of the Crewel pictures. They're very cute, very small. Here's the other side. I really like Crewel owl pictures, and I have quite a few in the bedroom to my left here. It's all owl vintage items that I am excited to show you. Here's a close-up of one of the fancier ceramic owl plaques here. Here's the metal plaque that is just painted to look like copper. I don't know if it's old or not. It looked like it to me. It just looked like 60s. Opposite of the owl Crewels and mirror is a very small section here before my linen closet in the upper stairwell. These three birds, my brother just gave them to me. They are Chalkware in Miller's studio. He happened to find them new in the package, but he just wasn't really using them anymore and said that I could have them, so I arranged them here with the little old plastic mirror that I had to respray. It was kind of a silvery gold, kind of odd and scratched up. I found it at a thrift store with a second one. But these are so pretty. I did repaint the gold beak and the eyes a little bigger and the feet and the feathers. A little bit more on them. It was dull. So they are very spruced up and very cute. I'm very happy with that arrangement. On the other side of the linen closet, up here is a Chalkware owl that I found probably 10 years ago. The color's not showing quite as well as it could, but I repainted the whole thing. It was very boring. It is a lot more orange than it's showing up in the picture here. Down the stairwell further back to the basement is a really, really wild plaque that I just found a year ago in far northern Minnesota. We may never get back there again because it's quite a drive. It is probably another California original. I think it's a peacock. Not certain of that either, but it's because of the wild crown on top. I don't know. I just happened to see it laying down with just a little bit of black and gold showing on the edge of a shelf in the antique shop, and I got really excited wondering, what is that? And when I pulled it out, I could not believe my eyes how crazy wild this thing was, and it was only like $14. That was just nuts. But I'm very happy with it. I think it's gonna stay here in the stairwell. Down below that is an old mirror that we found, old retro mirror. It's heavy, large and heavy. And we thought it was just perfect for in the stairwell here. And then you can see down below is where I had already shown lower stairwell gravel art. So that is our upper stairwell with 3 bedrooms that I'm going to be showing you. They are very retro and very full of fun old collectibles. So I hope you will come back to see those. See you again. Bye.